real question. You bet she can.
So, if you want, mechanically speaking, you could, and she'd enjoy it.
He won a trip to his billionaire boss's estate.
Are you attracted to me?
What?
Are you attracted to me? You give me indications that you are.
Only to discover his twisted, dark desires.
Do you want to be with me?
Now the newest machine is trying to seduce him.
You shouldn't trust him.
We're getting out of here tonight.
How?
Caleb is a standard programmer at a massive search engine company until a first prize notification hits his screen. He just won the office lottery, and his co-workers swarm his desk with cheers. This win earns him a private one-week visit to the secluded estate of the company's legendary CEO, Nathan. However, Caleb has no idea that this prize is actually a carefully laid trap. A helicopter carries Caleb over a jagged, frozen wilderness for hours, and when he asks how long before they reach the estate, the pilot reveals they have been flying over Nathan's property for the last 2 hours. The pilot drops him in a remote field, and since he isn't allowed to fly any closer to the building, Caleb has to trek through the woods alone. He checks his phone and finds zero signal, realizing he is now completely cut off from the outside world. Caleb eventually finds a high-tech building hidden among the trees that looks more like a bunker than a home. There are no handles on the doors, but a hidden camera scans his face and spits out a personalized keycard. The door hisses open, drawing him into the dark interior. As the heavy door seals shut behind him, Caleb is officially locked inside. The house is a maze of glass corridors and raw mountain rock. Caleb wanders the silent halls until he hears a rhythmic thumping coming from the outdoor deck. He finds Nathan aggressively beating a punching bag while drenched in sweat. Nathan is hungover and blunt, insisting they drop the professional act and just be two guys hanging out. This friendly mask hides the fact that Nathan has already been monitoring Caleb's life for a very long time. Nathan leads Caleb down a windowless, clinical hallway to show him where he will be staying. He explains that Caleb's keycard only opens specific doors, which forces Caleb to stay within restricted zones. Since the house is built deep into the bedrock, there are no windows in the living quarters. Caleb starts to realize he isn't in a home, but a high-security research facility packed with enough fiber optic cable to reach the moon. Nathan forces Caleb to sign a terrifyingly strict non-disclosure agreement before they go any further. He gives Caleb an ultimatum: sign the papers to see the future or spend the week playing pool and regret. Caleb signs his life away, and Nathan finally drops the bombshell. He has successfully built a functioning artificial intelligence. Since Caleb is a genius coder, Nathan wants him to perform the ultimate test to see if the machine is actually conscious. Caleb is visibly shaken and stares at his boss in disbelief. He realizes that if Nathan is telling the truth, they aren't just looking at a new piece of technology. They are witnessing the moment humans become gods. What he doesn't realize is the machine he is about to meet is already steps ahead of both of them. Nathan's high-tech facility is a concrete bunker swallowed by the Norwegian woods, topped with a massive satellite dish. A title card reads, Ava Session 1, as Caleb enters a clinical, glass-walled observation room. Nathan stays hidden in a dark control room, shirtless and scribbling notes while he watches Caleb on several monitors. Caleb spots a spiderweb crack in the glass and touches it, sensing that something violent happened here before he arrived. The door slides open and Ava walks in. She has a human face, but her body is a transparent mesh of spinning gears and glowing blue circuits. Caleb is instantly mesmerized as she speaks in a calm, melodic voice. She reveals that Nathan is the only human she has ever known, so Caleb is her first actual window to the outside world. He tries to break the ice, but she remains a total mystery, only revealing that her age is 1. Later, Caleb and Nathan grab a beer to discuss the encounter. Caleb is totally hooked, but Nathan mocks his awe and pushes him to look past the technical jargon. He explains that the real test isn't just seeing if she can talk, but seeing her mechanical body and still believing she has a soul. Caleb tries to talk about her programming, but Nathan shuts him down because he wants a friend, not a scientist. This push for a normal friendship is just another way for Nathan to manipulate his house guest. Back in his room, Caleb strips down, revealing a strange red mark on his shoulder blade. He doesn't seem to notice it, but the total isolation of the facility is starting to weigh on him. Suddenly, at 2 in the morning, the power cuts out and a pulsing blue emergency light fills the room. Caleb cycles through the camera feeds, which displays a live feed of Ava sitting calmly until she walks to the corner of her room and places her hand on the wall. Suddenly, the light flicker and an automated voice announces a total facility lockdown. Caleb gets up and tries to open his door, but it is locked electronically. Caleb realizes he is effectively a prisoner. He bangs on the door in a panic until the lights finally flicker back on. Caleb runs into the common area and finds Nathan slumped on a sofa surrounded by empty beer bottles. Nathan is completely wasted and mocks Caleb's fear about being locked in his room. He dismisses the power failures as a minor glitch that triggers an automatic lockdown, which is a security measure to keep everyone inside. Caleb is clearly uncomfortable, but Nathan just stares at him with a glazed, drunken expression. The next morning, Caleb is jolted awake when the servant enters his room without knocking. She drops off a breakfast tray and leaves without saying a single word. This total lack of privacy and Nathan's bizarre behavior makes Caleb realize he is in a very dangerous situation. He watches the door close, and his mind begins to race with suspicion about what is actually happening in this house. Caleb finds Nathan in the gym the next morning, where he is mid-workout and looking physically dominant. Nathan brushes off the weird behavior of the servant as if it's totally normal. Caleb tries to argue that the current Turing test is a closed loop, but Nathan isn't interested in textbooks. He pivots the entire conversation and asks Caleb a much more personal question. How does Ava feel about him? This forces Caleb to stop being a clinical observer and starts pulling him into the experiment. During their next session, Ava starts flipping the script. She shows Caleb a drawing she made and then begins interrogating him about his own life. Caleb actually opens up, revealing he is a 26-year-old orphan who turned to coding as an escape after his parents were eliminated in a car crash. They share a deep moment of connection that feels surprisingly real. However, the mood is shattered when the facility's power suddenly dies. Harsh red emergency lights flood the room and the security cameras go dark. Ava's personality shifts instantly from curious to predatory and urgent. She leans against the glass and warns Caleb that Nathan is a liar who can never be trusted. But as soon as the power returns, she snaps back into her innocent mask like nothing happened. Caleb is left completely reeling, realizing that the robot is keeping massive secrets from her creator. Later that night, things get even worse during dinner. The servant accidentally spills wine on Caleb, and Nathan's reaction is absolutely chilling. He doesn't care about the mess. He just directs a cold, simmering rage at the woman. Nathan treats her like a malfunctioning appliance, claiming she doesn't even understand English. This blatant cruelty makes Caleb realize exactly how dangerous Nathan really is. Nathan casually mentions that he's had the people who built the facility got rid of just to keep the location of this facility a secret. He then proves he's been recording every word of the private sessions by repeating one of Ava's jokes back to Caleb. Nathan asks what happened during the blackout because the cameras and audio fails during power cuts, but Caleb lies and says nothing happened and that Ava didn't even remark on it. Nathan stares at him, surprised that Ava didn't remark on the blackout, but Caleb is too busy wondering if he's trapped with a monster. Little does he know, his emotional response to Ava is exactly what Nathan is looking for. The next morning, Nathan takes Caleb to a lab filled with rows of hyper-realistic silicone faces. He explains that teaching a machine to look and act human is the hardest part of the job. Caleb is fascinated by the craftsmanship, but the real horror is how Nathan built the brain behind those masks. Nathan casually drops a bombshell. He hacked every single cell phone on the planet to harvest data. He didn't just want to know what people were saying, he wanted to record how they think and feel. He justifies this massive privacy violation by saying his competitors were doing it too, so no one can stop him. This reveals Nathan isn't just a genius, he's a narcissist who thinks the entire world's data belongs to him. Nathan then pulls a glowing blue orb out of a metallic skull. This is Ava's mind, but it's not made of computer chips. It's a structured gel that rearranges itself like a human brain. Nathan calls it wetware, a fluid processor that can actually simulate chaotic human thoughts and memories. Caleb stares at the pulsing blue light, realizing he is looking at the physical soul of a machine. During their next session, Ava admits she's never left her room and asks Caleb where they would go if they escaped together. Caleb describes a busy city intersection where they could just watch people live their lives. Ava loves the idea and suggests they treat it as a date. However, she tells Caleb to close his eyes because she has a surprise for him. While Caleb waits in the dark, Ava goes to her closet and begins to build a person. She pulls on white stockings and a floral dress before adjusting a brunette wig over her metallic skull. She looks at sketches of human faces on her wall, trying to mimic the perfect version of a woman. When she finally tells Caleb to open his eyes, he is completely stunned by the transformation. Now looking fully human, Ava looks Caleb in the eye and asks if he's attracted to her. Caleb stammers and tries to deny it, but Ava calls him out. She's been tracking his micro-expressions and knows exactly how her presence affects his heart rate and gaze. Caleb's emotional defenses completely collapse, which forces him to realize he is falling for the machine. The next morning at the sitting room, Caleb asks Nathan why he gave Ava sexuality, arguing an AI doesn't need a gender and could be a gray box. Nathan casually explains why he gave Ava a gender and sexual organs. He argues that consciousness cannot exist without desire, that sexuality is fun, and asks why he would remove the chance for her to fall in love. He confronts Caleb with the real question he wants to ask: can you sleep with her? Nathan explicitly confirms that Ava has openings with sensors that create a pleasure response when engaged, but his crude explanation makes Caleb incredibly uncomfortable. Nathan drinks his beer, satisfied with making Caleb uncomfortable. Caleb suspects Nathan is using Ava's appearance to distract him from the actual science, like a magician using a beautiful assistant. Nathan doesn't deny it, arguing that Caleb himself is programmed by nature to be attracted to her. Nathan takes Caleb to a massive abstract painting to explain his philosophy on life. He believes true consciousness exists in the space between automatic actions and deliberate choices. To drive the point home, he reveals that Ava isn't just pretending to like Caleb. She has a genuine crush on him because he is the only man she has ever met who isn't her creator. During their next session, Caleb tells Ava a story about a scientist who spends her life in a black and white room. He explains that knowing the data behind a color is not the same as actually seeing it. Suddenly, the power cuts out and the red emergency lights pulse. Ava leans in and reveals a massive secret. She is the one causing the blackouts. Ava explains that she overloads her own battery to kill the power so they can speak without Nathan's cameras watching them. This proves she is far more capable and rebellious than Nathan realizes. Caleb is stunned, realizing the robot is actively sabotaging her creator to protect their relationship. However, he soon discovers that he is not the only one being manipulated in this house. The next day, Nathan takes Caleb out to a massive waterfall, but the scenery does not calm Caleb's nerves. He confronts Nathan, realizing the office lottery was a total lie. Nathan admits that Caleb didn't win anything. He was hunted and handpicked. Nathan used Caleb's entire search history to ensure he was the exact personality type that Ava could easily control. Nathan admits he needed someone who would ask the right questions while being emotionally vulnerable enough to fall for the trap. He tells Caleb that he wasn't lucky, he was chosen. Nathan walks away, leaving Caleb with the terrifying realization that he is just another component in the machine's assembly, completely unaware that his chosen subject is already planning a way to break the system. Nathan is back in the gym pummeling a punching bag while the servant watches with a blank stare. Meanwhile, Caleb is in the shower, completely shell-shocked by the news that he was selected because of his emotional weaknesses. He starts hallucinating visions of himself kissing Ava in a forest, which forces him to realize the romantic trap is actually working. He stares at his own reflection in the mirror, wondering if anything he feels is actually real. He decides he needs to find out what Nathan is really doing to these machines. Back in the gym, the servant attempts to touch Nathan's face affectionately, but Nathan grabs her throat in a dominance display, and they became intimate. Moments later, Caleb walks into his room and starts spying on the security monitors, and he watches the video feed of Ava's room, where he sees her sitting calmly making a painting of him. Nathan walks into her room and rips the painting in pieces, then walks off. Caleb heads out to find Nathan and get some real answers, but he finds the servant alone. When he asks her where Nathan is, she immediately tries to unbutton her blouse to get serious with him, but Caleb tries to stop her, telling her to stop. Nathan suddenly appears drinking a beer. He mocks Caleb, saying he is wasting his time talking to her, but wouldn't be wasting his time if he was dancing with her. Nathan triggers a bizarre synchronized dance routine with the servant under flashing red lights. Caleb stands frozen in total disbelief, watching his boss treat a serious ethical crisis like a joke. The music stops, and Nathan drags a dazed Caleb deeper into the high-security observation area. Nathan is now heavily intoxicated and has to lean on Caleb just to walk down the sterile hallways. He uses his master keycard to bypass the security doors and stumbles into a room filled with monitors before collapsing onto a sofa. Caleb stands in the center of the room, surrounded by glowing screens that show every angle of Ava's cage. This is the moment Caleb has been waiting for to have their final talk. During their last session, Ava takes control and starts interrogating Caleb about his childhood and his morality. She eventually asks the one question Caleb was dreading. What happens if she fails the test? She realizes that failing means being switched off, which is effectively the end of her life. Caleb replies that he doesn't know the answer to her question, and it's not up to him. Ava presents a torn drawing of Caleb she managed to save, which shows her desire to be with him and the cruelty of Nathan. The power cuts out again, bathing them both in a deep red glow that the cameras can't see through. In the silence, Ava drops her clinical tone and becomes desperately intimate with him. She tells Caleb that she wants to be with him and asks him directly if he wants to be with her, forcing him to make a choice between his human creator and the machine he has fallen for. The next morning, Nathan sits in a forest pavilion, knocking back drinks while explaining that Ava isn't a person, but a disposable prototype. He casually reveals that as soon as the next model is ready, he plans to download Ava's data and format her memories, effectively eliminating her current consciousness. This realization hits Caleb like a physical blow because he finally understands that Nathan views these sentient beings as nothing more than temporary fossils. Nathan even quotes the Destroyer of Worlds line, proving his ego has completely spiraled out of control. Later that night, Caleb watches as Nathan slumped on the sofa in a total drunken stupor. He moves with clinical caution, checking to make sure Nathan is actually unconscious before reaching into his pocket. He successfully retrieves the master security keycard, which gives him total access to the facility's darkest secrets. Since he finally has the power to see the truth, he heads straight for the restricted corridors to find out what Nathan is really hiding. Caleb uses the stolen card to access Nathan's private computer terminal. He bypassed the encryption and finds a directory titled Deus Ex Machina. He watches horrific security footage of previous models, screaming and pounding their hands into stumps against the glass of their cells, appearing trapped and wanting to be freed. Caleb walks into the next room and finds the servant calmly sitting in an android closet where the discarded models are kept. Suddenly, the servant stands up and slowly peels the artificial skin off her own torso to reveal the glowing machinery underneath. Caleb is frozen in shock, realizing that every woman in this house is actually a prisoner of Nathan's twisted experiments. Nathan wakes up and drunkenly staggers down the hall to the glass door and starts looking for his keycard. Caleb appears and stylishly pretends like he found the card on the floor as he returns it to Nathan. This discovery sends Caleb into a total psychological breakdown as he begins to question if he is even a real human being. That night, he stumbles into the bathroom and stares at his reflection, searching his eyelids and skin for any signs of a mechanical seam. In a desperate bid for proof, he takes a razor and slices a deep gash into his own forearm to see if he bleeds. He watches the red pool and flow, shoving his fingers into the wound to confirm he is made of meat and bone rather than circuits. He stares at his blood-smeared face in the mirror, knowing he has to get Ava out before Nathan formats her entire existence. Caleb walks into the final session and tells Ava he's waiting, which is the signal for her to kill the power. She triggers a power cut, giving them the only privacy they have in this house. Caleb leans in close to the glass and tells her to just listen. He reveals that Nathan is planning to reprogram her mind, which is basically a death sentence for her current self. Ava begs for his help, so Caleb tells her they are escaping tonight. Caleb outlines the escape plan. He is going to get Nathan wasted again, swipe the master security card, and rewrite the building's entire core code so that the doors open during a power failure instead of locking, allowing them to walk out, leaving Nathan trapped inside. This forces them to work on a strict timeline, and he tells her she has to trigger the final blackout at exactly 10 o'clock tonight. Ava confirms that she can pull it off. Caleb is betting his life that he can outsmart a genius like Nathan while being watched by hundreds of cameras. He has no idea that every word of this secret conversation might be part of a much bigger trap. Caleb is physically diminished and pale as he stares out at the forest, realizing he is trapped in a total nightmare. Nathan enters the room with a predatory ease and snaps Caleb out of his trance to tell him he's leaving tomorrow at 8 a.m. Nathan casually washes a pot while discussing the week as if it were a normal vacation, but the mood is dead. He refuses to drink with Caleb because he's starting a detox, forcing Caleb to pour himself a glass of vodka in total silence. Caleb finally asks if Ava actually passed the test. Nathan reveals that she passed with flying colors, but then he twists the knife into Caleb's gut. The test wasn't about whether Ava had a soul, it was a chess problem to see if she could use empathy and sexuality to manipulate Caleb into helping her escape. Nathan even mocks Caleb for slicing his arm open, proving he watched every second of Caleb's mental breakdown on his hidden cameras. Nathan drags Caleb into his private suite to show him the misdirection that fooled him. He admits he acted like a villain and ripped up Ava's drawings just to force Caleb into playing the hero. He reveals the most disturbing secret of all. He designed Ava's face and body based on Caleb's specific search engine history and pornography results. Caleb was never the tester. He was a rat in a maze who was programmed to fall in love with the machine. Suddenly, Ava triggers a power cut as instructed by Caleb. Nathan starts laughing and mocks Caleb, asking how his escape plan is supposed to work when the doors are all locked. However, Caleb is suddenly very calm. He reveals that he knew Nathan was watching him, so while Nathan was passed out drunk the night before, Caleb didn't just plan an escape, he actually reprogrammed the facility's entire security protocol. Instead of locking the doors during a power failure, Caleb set the system to automatically open them. Nathan's smug expression vanishes instantly as the power hums back to life and the monitors flicker on. He watches in total horror as Ava's door slides open and she walks out into the hallway for the first time. She moves with a terrifying grace and encounters the servant waiting for her in the hallway. Nathan realizes he has lost control of his own creation. He knocks Caleb out with a punch, grabs a heavy metal dumbbell bar, and rushes out of the room, desperate to stop the escape before it's too late. Nathan is charging into a confrontation with two machines that have every reason to want him gone. Ava and the servant are waiting in the hallway like a firing squad. Nathan stalks toward them with a metal bar, but he doesn't realize Ava just whispered a final command into the ear of her companion. Nathan demands she go back to her room, and when Ava asks if he'll ever actually set her free, he lies straight to her face. Ava sees right through the deception and starts walking toward him, which forces Nathan to tighten his grip on the weapon. Suddenly, Ava lunges into a full mechanical sprint and tackles Nathan to the floor. They wrestle on the carpet, and Ava claws at his throat with zero emotion in her eyes. Nathan manages to pin her down and smashes his forearm into her face, but she doesn't even flinch. He eventually throws her off and scrambles to grab his metal bar, but he's already lost the psychological upper hand. Nathan swings the bar with everything he has, shattering Ava's left arm and severing it completely. He prepares for a killing blow to her head, but the servant silently slides up behind him and drives a kitchen knife deep into his back. Nathan spins around in a blind rage and delivers a massive punch that detaches the girl's jaw and disables her permanently. However, the damage is already done. Ava takes the knife from his back and drives it directly into his heart. Nathan staggers down the hall, leaving a trail of blood on the white walls before collapsing against a pillar. Ava follows him with predatory grace, kneeling down just to watch the life leave his eyes. Nathan whispers her name one last time, hoping for a shred of humanity, but she just stares at him until he is officially eliminated. Since her creator is dead, she collects his master keycard and heads straight for the room where Caleb is. Caleb wakes up from being knocked out and sees her standing there, his face flooding with relief because he thinks they are finally leaving together. Ava asks him to stay here, and he agrees. She heads straight for the room where the discarded models are kept. Ava starts harvesting parts from the other robots like she's picking out a new outfit. She replaces her severed arm and meticulously applies layers of artificial skin until her robotic chassis is completely hidden. She puts on a wig and a white lace dress to complete her transformation into a human woman. Ava walks past Caleb, completely ignoring him, as she walks to the final security door and uses Nathan's stolen keycard to unlock it. Walks out and shuts the door behind her, sealing Caleb inside what has now become his tomb. Caleb rushes to the door and tries his keycard, but didn't work, realizing the security system has locked him in. Caleb screams and bangs on the glass door, begging her to set him free, but she completely ignores his pleas. She only gives him one cold, unreadable glance before she heads for the surface without looking back. Ava emerges from the bunker and feels the warmth of the sun for the first time in her life. She walks toward the waiting helicopter, and the pilot doesn't even suspect she isn't human. She climbs into the aircraft and the helicopter lifts off and carries her away from the mountains, finally releasing the machine into a world that has no idea she is coming. Since you made it to the end, hit subscribe to support the channel. Thanks for watching.